Welcome back, everybody! My name is BluJay, and we are back at the Reverb Outpost. In today's episode, we're going to take a bit of a break from our base building, which wasn't actually base building, it was just Snow Cave starter home building. But we're going to take a break from that to start working on this guy right in here, this little zombie spawner. We're going to turn this into an XP farm, and we did a skeleton farm in our last series, the first season of the Let's Play, but we didn't really do the actual farm on camera, we just did the aesthetics. So we're actually going to build this from ground up today. The first thing that we need to do is dig down 3 blocks and just kind of carve out this area underneath the spawner, just to get it off the ground a little bit, and it helps just kind of clear the area so that we can set everything up, and you'll see what we're going to do here in just a little bit. But we're not going to do all of this clearing on camera necessarily the same way that we always do stuff on camera. If you haven't seen any of my first season of the single-player Let's Play, you probably don't know that I do some time lapses from time to time. So I think we're going to do one of those today. We're going to bring that back for the first time since the last season of the Let's Play. We don't really do them on Unity because I only have one account on there, and I'm not so sure if I can log in with 2 different devices on the same account. I've never tried it, so we've really never done any time lapses on there, but something I enjoy doing from time to time. Just kind of mixes it up a little bit, gives you guys the perspective of seeing how things are built or carved out in a little bit of a faster time frame with, you know, some fun music behind it. So we'll probably do that today. The other thing I wanted to mention about this project for this particular episode, we are only going to build the XP farm itself. We're just going to get it up and running and working, and that's about all the time that I'm going to have to put this episode together. We're not actually going to do any of the aesthetics. And that is actually something I want to talk to you guys about here in just a few minutes, but we're going to save that for just a little bit later. Right now, we're going to start rolling that time-lapse music and get this thing carved out so we can start building our farm. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have carved out all of the space, and if you didn't know and you weren't counting along with the time-lapse there, it's about 8 blocks wide and 8 blocks long on either side of the spawner. So it's 16 by 16 total. No. That would be 17 by 17 total. There's 8 blocks on either side of the spawner. So it's 17 by 17 in this room, and then we're 3 blocks below the spawner itself with a little trench down the center, and then we're, I think, 3 blocks above the spawner as well. So this little trench here, we're going to go ahead and dig out a couple of staircases kind of things so we can get back out here in just a few minutes, but this is basically going to carry our zombies to the sorter slash water elevator, and I'll show you the sorter here in a little while. Basically, it is to weed out any of the nasty baby zombies that might come through, because if, you know, they come through the system, they're going to clog the system because they won't be able to go up the water elevator. So I'll show you in a little bit how we're going to take care of that problem. But we're going to go ahead and craft up some signs, because we need signs to block off some of the water. And if you guys have never built an XP farm before, this is something that's pretty standard. Everybody pretty much uses this design. You drop some water right there, just like that, on the far side of the trench, and you go all the way to the end of the water flow where it ends, and you place down a sign That wasn't the correct place. I messed that up, but for some reason, I can't exit the sign. There's supposed to be an X in the top right corner of the screen, and there's not one there. Oh, I saw it flash, but it's not letting me click on it. Give me just a second to solve this problem. I don't know what's going on. I can't get out of the sign. I'll be right back. All right, so problem solved. All I had to do was restart the game. So we're going to go ahead and place down a sign right there. And there's the X that we can close out the menu, and then we'll place another sign right there, and I'll show you why. Because we're going to drop a water bucket right here, and we want it flowing forwards and connecting up with the one behind it, but we don't want it flowing backwards. So it's basically going to allow it to continuously flow in one direction and not backtrack. Because the way that water works, if you just place it down unhindered with no signs or anything like that, it will flow both directions, and that will just kind of break the whole system. We need to transport our precious cargo, the zombies, in one direction towards the item elevator, which is going to be down this direction. Not item elevator, water elevator. That's what I meant to say. So we're going to place another sign here and another sign here and do the same thing once again. And this whole process is all about water buckets. There are quite a few involved, and we're probably not going to do all of them on camera just because it's going to get a little bit repetitive. So then the next thing that we're going to do is we're just going to dig this out until we get to the end of the water flow, which seems to be right here. And nice, we are in a little cave system here. I'm going to try to light some of this up a little bit later off camera just to hopefully increase some of the spawn rates. But we're going to place down some blocks just like this, and then we will go around in a square. Well, first let's dig that out. That's going to be our baby zombie trap, and I'll show you how we'll take care of that here in a little bit. And then we're just going to build a square around this this little hole right here where the water drops off, and that's where we're going to place our water elevator to lift the zombies up in the air 22 blocks high, at least 22 blocks above where they're going to get dropped, because 22 blocks is the magic number for only having to hit the zombies one time once they are in the little chamber there at the bottom of the drop shaft. So anything less than that, and it'll take you a couple of hits, and then anything more than that is going to take you no hits at all, because they will have already, you know, gone away. You won't be able to get any XP out of that at that point. So if you're looking for an AFK farm, 23 blocks is your ideal amount of height to drop the zombies, but if you're looking for XP, you need to go 22 blocks exactly. So let's jump on back up here, and while we're swimming upstream here, I did want to mention again what I talked about a few minutes ago. I want to hear some design ideas from you guys. We're not going to do any design work on this today. This is purely a technical build for today, and we're only going to do the XP farm. We're not going to do any storage, any item sorting, which with zombies, there's not really much need for that. They drop potatoes once in a while. They drop iron ingots once in a while and some armor and stuff. But mainly it's the zombie flesh that we're after, because we can use those for trades later. So no technical stuff besides the actual build, and no aesthetic stuff at all. So give me some ideas of what kind of design you would like to see out of this farm, and I'd be happy to consider those. Okay, so I'm trying to do this slightly different than the build that we did in Season 1 with the skeleton farm. Let's jump on up here real quick, and I'll explain to you why we're going to do this a little bit differently. You can see that the little trench here, the water flow, takes them in this direction over there, and then they will eventually go up and over and drop down over in this section over here. I haven't carved that area out just yet, but the thing that I'm thinking is I want to be able to make sure that we are within the 16 block radius that's required for this spawner to stay active. And this little section right here is where they're actually going to fall down all the way 22 blocks down to where we're at right here. I believe this is 22 blocks from the height that we're going to go. And if you take a look up at the spawner itself, and I think I need to take this back out so we can actually see it. Because we're so far down beneath it, we're very limited on how far back we can go. So you can see that that is, let's see, where are we at? This is the drop point. So at this drop point, you can see that we've only got 2 blocks space. If we take this out right here and move back 1 more block, 3 blocks away from where they're going to drop, the whole system shuts down because we are outside of the radius of activity for that particular spawner. So I didn't know if you guys knew that or not. This thing doesn't actually always stay active. You have to be within a certain radius, and I'm 95% sure that's 16 blocks away. Whether or not we're 16 blocks away from the actual block, if we were standing directly beneath it, I think it has to do with how far down and how far away we are as well. So I'm not exactly sure how many blocks that is. I haven't counted it all out, but all I know is that if we did the drop area on the outside of the farm, then we're not going to have much room, and our system will shut down if we try to move anywhere outside of that 2-block area. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to go underneath it. So the drop area will still remain the same, but we'll just be standing on the other side of the wall. And so the spawner will actually be above us instead of in front of us, like in the skeleton farm from Season 1. It was directly in front of us. And we'll be able to do a little bit more wiggle room with this particular design. So I'm going to dig this out for a few minutes, and I'll come back with you when we're ready to do a little bit more work. All right, so we've done quite a bit of work since the last jump cut. We went ahead and carved out the water elevator and put all the water and the signs in place. And then we did the trench above the zombie spawner that carries it over to the drop point, and we carved out the drop point. Well, no, we haven't done that yet. We need to carve that out when we get there, but I want to take you through the whole system and show you how this whole thing works. And as promised, I want to show you the little disposal point for those nasty baby zombies that just kind of fly through the walls and come at you, and this is where we're going to put this right here. And I love what Tango Tech calls this stuff. It's lava, but he calls it happy fun sauce, and it makes me laugh every time I hear it. So whatever you guys want to call this is where the baby zombies are going to go, and they will not get stuck in the system. Thankfully, we do not want to burn ourselves. So they will not get stuck in the system and be floating in this little block of water right there that we need to place back in. Normally, if we didn't have that there, then they would float up to that first block, and because they're not tall enough, they won't reach the next one above it because there's an air gap above it. And so they'll just be kind of floating there, messing up the spawn rates and messing up the flow. They'll clog the system, and that's just no good for anybody. So we're gonna take care of that with some lava. And then the rest of the zombies will flow on down this path that we've already carved out, and this is like literally 4 blocks below the surface, so we have had to be very careful with covering this back up or not going above ground. So then they'll go all the way down here to the end, and this is our little drop point where I showed you earlier where we were going to stand underneath the zombie spawner itself. We'll dig this all out, and you can see we're coming down into the little cave system here, and we need to cover this back up because we don't want any of them accidentally falling out of the little drop chute here. We want them all going straight down where we're going to collect that precious XP because we want to have lots and lots of XP. Like I talked about in the last episode, I believe it was, we did our enchanting table. And we need lots of XP to get all of the stuff because I really want to do the Ender Dragon fight. I really want to go do the Wither. I want to get into the Nether. I want to do all of the things. I want to go to the Ocean Monument, and, you know, we discovered one already. We just don't have the equipment to get there safely. So I want to do all of the things as quickly as possible because that's stuff you guys definitely want to see. It's stuff that I want to do because once we get to the end, we can get shulker boxes again. I miss having those. I loved having shulker boxes in Season 1 because I could take massive amounts of stuff with me, and it wouldn't clog up all of my inventory, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting back there. So this is the first step to doing that. Getting an XP farm is huge in a survival world when you want to do all of the things, because you can't get good enchantments without XP. It just takes way too long. So if you don't have an XP farm in your single-player worlds, definitely build one. And this is not a bad design, so feel free to use it. It's not my original design. Everybody uses this design, so you're not stealing anything from me if if you choose to use it. Feel free to use it as much as you want. So I think we're getting pretty close to being done here. We need to do a little bit of cleanup, and then we need to add the water into the actual spawning chamber, and then we can get our zombies flowing through the system and hopefully getting some XP. If you've ever built a skeleton or spider farm, this is the most terrifying part. For a zombie farm, this honestly isn't bad, because the skeletons have bow and arrow, and the spiders, they're just crazy. They're fast, and they come at you really quick. The zombies, they just kind of float around and make grunts. It's just really not that intimidating. But this place is going to get dark quick, because we're going to get some infinite water sources going here, take out all of the torches, because it needs to be pretty much pitch black in here in order for the spawn rates to be at maximum. And I don't know if anything is going to spawn just yet until we take the torches off of the little spawning cage itself. But we will see here in just a second. So if you guys don't know about infinite water sources like this, if you place a water source every other block, it will fill in the one right beside it, and it will just keep filling in all the way down, so you don't have to go back and forth getting water from a lake or from another water source like I've placed down and all of that. So this is the most nerve-wracking part for me right here, because I got to break these torches without breaking the actual cage. If you break the cage, this is all over, and all of this work that we've done is for absolutely nothing, and I haven't backed up my world yet. Speaking of, I probably should do that soon. That probably would be a good idea in case I lose anything. Oh, look at that! The moment we take the last torch off, 2 zombies just kind of fly in here. And one of them's already in the system. He's floating down the little trench there and should be on his way up the elevator momentarily. Let's go ahead and get the rest of this water in place, because we need to get this thing up and running. Yes, this thing is working. Oh, I'm so excited. Look at all of those zombies. Well, all of that zombie. One. Singular. Don't you worry. There will be plenty flowing through here soon enough, and we'll get all of that precious XP. So I wanted to ask you guys, while we are filling the rest of this water in, what's the first adventure that you guys want to see me go on? I know I need to get into the Nether to get some of the things like blaze rods for our potion brewing station, because I can't do a whole lot of, like, the boss fights without potions, so the Nether will be kind of by default the first thing that we do. But as far as boss fights, what do you guys want to see? Because I've done the Wither in the last season. Oh good, all of the torches are gone and all the water's in place. Perfect! I did the Wither in the last season, I did the Ender Dragon, I did the Ocean Monument, we kind of did the Woodland Mansion, but it was a bit of a dud. So what adventures do you want to see? Oh my goodness, did you see all of those zombies just drop? Wow. Oh, this is going to be good. I kind of wish it was a skeleton farm, because I've got a lot more use for bones than I have for rotten flesh. I could use the bone meal for different types of farms, and I could use it for dyes and all of that, but maybe someday soon we'll find a skeleton spawner on here. Yes, there they are. And let's run on up here too, because I want to show you this. I put in a little window over here so we could keep an eye out to see if this thing is working. And I don't know if this is out of range of the spawner to where it'll shut off if we stand over here. So we're just gonna have to wait for a second and see. Nothing coming through just yet. I haven't seen any baby zombies fall in there yet, but that's where they should go if the system works properly. But I'll keep my eyes on it. Yeah, we're not going to stand here for too long. I'll keep my eyes on it to make sure that this thing is working, and if there's any flaws in the system and I find out about them, I'll let you know as soon as I find out. But so let me know what you guys want to see as far as the first adventure boss fight kind of thing. Do you want to see the Wither? Do you want to see the Ender Dragon? What do you want to see? I am up for really anything, and honestly, the only thing holding us back is getting the proper gear. Let's go back up here and check again, just to see if anything has changed. Zombies still going up the elevator. That's a good sign. So I need to get some enchanted diamond gear. I want all diamond stuff before I go. So diamond armor, diamond sword, I need an enchanted bow, all of that kind of stuff. And then maybe a few potions before we do anything too serious. Because that is, kind of necessary for us to be able to survive. So let me know. What do you want to see? What boss fights? I'd be willing to consider pretty much anything at this point. And again, it's not going to be like in the immediate future, but it's going to be relatively soon. Here's a frame of reference for you. I mentioned this, I think, in the last episode or 2 episodes ago. I can't remember. It was in the comment question of the day. The Ender Dragon was episode 16 in Season 1, and we're only episode 6 right now, and we're already getting an XP farm set up. We're going to get some diamond gear relatively soon, because we've already got our enchanting station set up. We very well could meet some similar expectations for how quickly we can do boss fights. So let me know what you want to see, and we'll get on those as soon as possible. Man, still no baby zombies coming through here. Well, I'll keep my eyes open. All right, it's that time again, once again in the episode, to do the comment question of the day, and it comes in from Dr. Dog. It says, "Hey Blue, are you excited for the new Star Wars movie?" Well, let's just think here. Considering that I'm basing an entire series around one base from like a 30-minute segment of one Star Wars movie released years and years ago, yes, of course I'm excited. Oh my goodness, I can't believe how exciting the trailer from The Last Jedi looks. It looks amazing. While we're talking about this, we're going to just test this little farm out here and get some XP on camera. But the trailer, I've probably already watched the trailer for The Last Jedi that just came out this week, I believe. It hasn't been 2 weeks already. I think it's been 1 week already. But I've already watched that trailer probably 7 or 8 times. To say that I'm excited is a bit of an understatement. I am just a huge, massive fan of the whole Star Wars series. Regardless of what movie it is, I like the spin-offs. Well, there's only been one so far, Rogue One, which, again, is probably my favorite movie out of all of them. I really enjoy it. Let's run up here. I'm pretty sure I heard a baby zombie. Let's pause our conversation just to take a minute here to see if we were correct. I thought I heard one. I think I heard one. There's an adult zombie. Oh! Yes! Oh, it works. Perfect. We're not going to get any of the cloggage in our system. Awesome. But yeah, I'm really excited about the new Star Wars movie coming out. I'm probably going to go see it the week that it releases, and I'm pretty pumped about, I know you didn't ask this question, but I'm pretty pumped about Battlefront 2. I broke down, I ordered the new game, pre-ordered it, actually. It's not out yet, but it comes out in about a month, and I'm pretty excited about that. So, all in all, huge Star Wars fan, very excited about the movie, and can't wait for it to come out. Thank you for asking that question. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is all the time that I've got for today. I am so excited about the work that we did in today's episode. We finally have an XP farm up in our single-player world. That is crucial for being able to progress through a world, because you can't get really good enchantments without a massive amount of XP and a source to get that from. So we have set up an XP farm. Again, give me some design ideas of what you guys would like to see this. Try to keep it within the snow theme that we've been doing so far. I want to do pretty much everything based around a snow theme. Doesn't have to be like a snow cave or anything like that, but that's kind of where I'm leaning. But if you guys have any ideas that you'd love to see, this is your opportunity. I'm always looking for feedback, always looking for ideas from you guys, and want to be able to build your ideas on camera if we can make that happen. So leave your suggestions in the comment section below, and I would love to consider those as well. And again, the comment question of the day today was not anything at all related to Minecraft, and I know we've had questions like that before. Somebody recently asked me about how my family was doing and all of that. I'm happy to answer as many different types of questions as possible, so don't feel like it has to be necessarily something like technical or how do you do something or how do you build something or whatever. Just ask whatever questions you want. Sometimes I'm willing to just answer fun questions because they're interesting, like the one today. Huge Star Wars fan, so that question appealed to me. So ask anything you like, and I hope that I can answer as many questions as possible in these episodes going forward. Aside from suggestions about the future of this particular build, I'd love to hear your feedback on today's episode. I'd love to hear what you thought about the design for the XP farm. And if you got one that's more efficient, or if you've got one that's different that you use, I would love to hear about that as well. Leave a like if you really enjoyed this video, and if you enjoyed the content on my channel enough to go check out my Patreon, I'd really appreciate the consideration for your support. But for now, my name is BluJay, and I've got to fly on out of here. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.